So I want to cover Vincent Lee's turn. He was the first player because I think a lot happened there, and it's kind of interesting. He jumped out of relay, where he's supposed to, landed here at the witch house, and he's going to get a little token to indicate that he can stop that. But there were two cultists there, and he had to fight them. He ended up spending his tokens off the Chime of Ra, two of them, to give him +4 to the horror checks. You know, that or, my assumption is that's an exclusive or. That may be wrong, but otherwise, why wouldn't you use and there, you know? So, he's there. He made the bonus to his horror checks because he wanted to keep his fight in place. His ability to sneak past them was not very good, and he just took them out with the shotgun. So he's got a couple of trophies for them. Now his plan is he's holding this Elder Sign. He's not going to worry about trying to use his minuscule lore or his fight ability to try and cope with relay. He's just going to Elder Sign it and get it off the board. And I think that's probably a pretty good option. Alright, onward. Actually, everyone but Daryl has kind of an interesting turn. Daryl's sticking around at the hospital. He wants to get his stamina back. Monterey Jack jumped in to deal with the Dreamlands. There's two things that were here, the Star Spawn and then a ghost. Well, he couldn't evade them, so he marched in there and decided to combat them straight out. He failed his horror check against the ghost. Got a 1. He takes 2 losses. His sanity's way down. He actually spent this clue on it as well. His plan for defeating the ghost was using this powder of Ibn Ghazi. Well, he couldn't fight the ghost without it. So he uses it anyway. It's going to blow his last sanity. And he managed to kill the ghost, but he's not going to deal with the Star Spawn because he's insane at this point. And being insane means he's going to lose half his items and half his clue tokens and go to the asylum to get his sanity back, to get 1 point of sanity back. Not a good turn for him, but you know, he can recover his limited sanity. He's got to lose half his items. That's 1 item. Now the question here is, the bullwhip and the revolver are both good against physical. So I'm going to actually get rid of his unique item, the enchanted jewelry, which is cool, but weapons are so awesome. And he can use both at once. But it makes him completely useless in a non-physical fight. Now to Kate, well, she's going to have to deal with the Chthonian. And she also will drop down, get a little marker to indicate that she can deal with the gate if she needs to. Oh, this is another dimension. No, that's the Dreamlands. Now the Chthonian has no particular combat effects. He's kind of tough, but he's easy to evade. So, ooh, I gotta up her sneak. Now again, remember, these are decisions were usually made in the upkeep phase, but it just doesn't work for me there. She has some sanity, low stamina. I think she wants to try to avoid him. She's got 3 dice for that. She can't really afford the stamina for that. So she's going to roll 3 dice and hope she gets lucky, basically. And she does. So she gets away from him and can then deal with that other dimension. Now, for encounters, well, Vincent is here at the witch house. He's going to spend his Elder Sign. Now that loses him a stamina and a sanity, but I think it's worth it because it pulls one of these off. Not that we're really far on those. And closes the witch house down forever, giving him one of these. So We're getting closer again, but we've still got one of these open that I don't know what to do with. You know, we've still got, as long as that, if that was getting closed this turn too, we might have won the game. We were set up for a shot at it. Well, it wouldn't get closed. He would have been slipping through. But we have no one even dealing with it. Now, Kate is dealing with a +0. She has 5 lore, so we'll give her that. And I don't think she has anything else that'll help except that clue. But 5 lore is sufficient, so she picks the second one. And again, we're close. Now, we're also getting closer to something else. We've got 2 elder signs on the board. 4 more, and we can win the game, as it were, that way. Okay. I think that's the end of the player turns. Oh, wait a minute. You know, I did not handle Monterey Jack. He still gets time for his encounter here. Unlike Daryl, who got dumped there after his encounter phase, Monterey actually is here for it, so he can pay $2 to restore his sanity or get 1 for free. He's just going to get 1 for free. $2 for that extra sanity seems painful. Although, when he's facing this ghoul and a dimensional shambler out there, he's good at combat, though. That's the advantage. The question is, what does ambush do? No option to flee. Okay, that's fair enough. Alright, so now we go to the Mythos. Yeah, we pull a new card. Oh, what's up with this rumor? Something's happening here. Place a clue on the top at the end of each Mythos. Well, there's going to be a problem if this fills up. So somebody's going to have to get some spells together. I'm not sure I was keeping track of that. I'm not sure it affected anything, but this is kind of a problem. We get a headline, Southside Strangler suspected. Okay, first the Woods gets one of these. And as pointed out, the clue disappears. A clue does appear at the Historical Society. Movement. Do we have any monsters? Yeah, we do. Not too many. Nothing. Oh, not black. He follows a black line going to north side. So they're spreading out a little bit. The press is mistaken and the murders were caused by 2 monsters that are released into the south side streets. Great. Okay, so 2 new monsters appear on the board. And we're only allowed 7 on the board. Right now I think we have 5 after this. Some cultists. But I have to remember a bonus and a night gaunt. Key. Okay. Well, I think that puts us on to the next turn. We'll shift this down to Daryl. We had another gate, so this regenerates. Forgot to pull another monster for the Woods. One comes through with every gate. We got another Chthonian. Those are kind of cool because they're easy to evade. The problem is Daryl, who's nearby, isn't too good at evading at this point. But I do want to take care of that gate if I can, so I'm going to try to figure out what I can do. He has the stealth ability, which helps. Let me make sure my number of monsters is okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm at the limit. Any new monsters drawn just drop into the outskirts at this time. Daryl had some trouble with that there Chthonian. He went in there after adjusting his ratings as much as he can. Well, he failed his sneak roll, exhausted his sneak skill, and failed again. And then when I came down to the horror check, well, that did him in. And that was pretty much an automatic failure for him. And he's in the asylum now, too. He's got a decent amount of sanity, so he'll probably pay to recover it all. Onward. Things are going badly at this point. So, now after Monterey walked out and fought the creature in the downtown, and I believe he killed it, but he failed his sanity check, so he's down again, so he wandered back into the hospital and said, I need some more electrotherapy. So, Kate charges across to deal with a star spawn. Well, she can't succeed in her sanity check. She threw a clue in for a 1 in 6 or a 2 in 6 chance to do so, but ended up losing his sanity and then gets into a fight with it. Well, that seemed fine. I thought she was perfectly capable of that. She cast Wither, which gave her +3 to her combat checks, and she had pretty decent combat set up right now with 4 dice. All sounded good. She had the marksman to re-roll. Well, it was only 4 dice, and you need 3 hits against this beastie. It didn't happen, and she's kind of like, oh shit. Well, she loses a stamina and ends up back here and has to take losses in some of her items, and that's kind of painful. She's really got 2 only. The cross and the gate box. Now the cross is cool because of its bonus against horror checks. The gate box, well, it allows her to shift in different ways. I don't know, as to which gate that she's actually dealing with. I don't know which I'd rather get rid of. It's a tough call. I'm going to throw the gate box just because the cross is really good against undead, and there have been a few of them. Alright, now we're down to Vincent, and I don't know what to do with him. He'd like to take out one of these gates, but things are beginning to look really ugly. Well, Vincent managed to sneak by that star spawn. He's not too tough, but he had to spend a clue token in addition to all of his bonuses for sneaking, etc. Because he forgot to lower his will, or raise his will up, and left his fight in place. That was kind of a mistake there. Okay, so now starting with Daryl, we have some healing to do here. It's $2 for his maximum sanity. So he gets $3 and 3 sanity. That's not too bad. Monterey is going to do the same thing. He's going to pay $2 for 1 extra sanity, just because, 2 sanity is not enough to survive in this world. Now, poor Kate, well, she happens to be not where I put her. $2 to restore her stamina. She's got the money, so she's going to do it, but she's got a sanity problem, too, at this point. And now, finally, Vincent, who gets, because he snuck by, gets to slip through into the Dreamlands, and he'll get an encounter there. Just any color. While wandering the phosphorescent woods, you are surrounded by hungry Zoogs. That doesn't sound good. A luck -2 check. If you pass, they take a liking to you and give you a gourd of moon tree wine. Gain a sanity and a clue. If you fail, they basically bone you. Okay, well, luck -2. His luck is a 2. Does he have anything that can help this? I don't see anything, just briefly glancing. Get clue tokens. That's not good enough, and I would really like to pass this, so I'm gonna start spending clue tokens. Alright, now I'm out of clues. Yay. Alright. So what do I get? I get a clue, and I get a sanity, I believe. And that's true, because wine always does make you more sane. Being lost in time and space, well, that would just make it so that this gate creation was just getting worse and worse. We really have to deal with this. And now we draw the Mythos card. And we're going to get something in the Black Cave. This actually happens. We draw an eyeball. We draw a monster. And you know, there's a lot of drawing of things. It's a pain in the butt when you've got one hand for the camera, but it's not really that bad in the game itself. And we got some cultists there. Remember, cultists are bonused by this event. And speaking of which, that has to increase. And there's a clue at the unnameable. Is over here, even though there's a elder sign there, a clue I guess still can appear. And this is a new environment. It gets rid of that evil fog. The evil fog isn't that terrible. Students protest the museum exhibit. This is one of the Pharaoh ones. They're stirred up. There's going, by which they mean the visiting museum exhibit. Any investigator who ends his movement in the streets must make a fight -1 or be delayed, i.e. knocked over. So they miss their next turn. We got some movement in place here. Well, the Chthonians aren't going to move, but this Night Gaunt is going to fly up into the air. I had something that doesn't allow flying creatures to move. That's not recent. These cultists are not on the movement chart, and the Star Spawn are not there. Some things don't seem to move very much. Maybe my deck's not shuffled well or something, but it just seems like some of the movement is less than some of the others. That's the end of the turn. This one's getting sent up, and now Monterey is going to be in place. And the players are going to have to start reassessing what their goal is here, because I don't think they're going to be able to wipe out all the gates. So now they've got 2 elder signs in place. What if they start going for the elder sign victory? Because wiping out 4 gates in the remaining time might be possible, but they're low on clues. They just don't have them, and that's going to be tough. So I'm going to look around, see. There's got to be a place where you can buy a clue, you know, because I've been walking through my life all this time trying to buy one. No, seriously, I think they're doomed. I really do. I think that tipping point's been reached. There's 2 open gates. They're working on one. It doesn't sound that terrible, but it is really beginning to overcome. And by the way, that cultist I don't think shows up there, though. We're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me count. Maybe I killed a monster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's hard to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, I'm still good. I guess I killed a monster. So none are showing up in the outskirts there. It's fine when they show up in the outskirts, to tell you the truth. It's just if the outskirts overflow, that it's a vague problem. All right, so up this goes.